Inside the body is microcellular action, and inside the mitochondria and inside our cells, it's like there's loads and loads of little things that have their own independent lives. Their lives are expended for the sake of our core being. And similarly, the nation, we are like blood cells to the national activity, right? And you could look at it as cities are like organs, and the motorways are like, the conduits which feed the organs, and together the country is one big thing that moves, and your effort and your life is part of that, part of its actions, and so it has a kind of control over us. And you can see this action in, quite frankly, everything, right? In war, in peace, in industry, in economic paradigms like capitalism and communism. In all of these things, humans are the fuel. We are the cogs in the machine, and we keep these things going. And if you think about communism, capitalism in the last century, how many people were sort of consumed in the great pushes of these great entities? And so this video is about how we end up getting suckered into the machinations of some sort of grandiose spirit which has a mind of its own and agendas of its own, and all of our labour and effort and mind space and emotion and all of our striving in our lives are simply to sort of empower things like capitalism or communism or war, or anger, or destruction, or wisdom, or creativity, or the family, or comfort, all kinds of spirits out there, and it's which one you feed will grow, right? But being forewarned is forearmed. So simply to know that we believe ourselves so independent, and we believe ourselves to have all the control, and we don't. Industrialism. I mean, pre-industrialism, the Middle Ages, the Dark Ages, when people were serfs attached to the land where a lord or a king owned them and all of their labour. And there was a kind of spirit of royal conquest, empire, colonial conquest, expansionism, martial, warlike behaviour. And the people didn't have any control. Now, I think about the spirit of industrialisation and also the exploitation of children, and exploitation of everything, exploitation of the natural world, exploitation of whatever you can for a profit. I kind of link that the industrial spirit, it's come from this spirit of empire, and we have these child welfare rights, labour rights now, but it's spread to the third world. The kind of spirit of industry managed to subvert the rules, couldn't get away with it here, but it's moved on there. Colonial spirit's moved on there. It's kind of the same spirit that kind of ruled us in the Dark Ages, ruled us in the exploited us in the industrial era, and then it's gone on to exploit the third world over there. So a very divisive spirit is the industrial spirit, and in the early part of last century, the industrial spirit connected with the spirit of war. So industrial production could be met with huge numbers of people on the battlefield, as well as huge amounts of produced weaponry and ammunition by the millions of bullets by the day or week, and guns, cannon, you name it, vehicles, right, all kinds of stuff. And so war and industry, two very incredibly powerful spirits, they combined, and we have the military industrial complex, which is a complex network of economic, the spirit of capitalism and the spirit of industry and the spirit of warfare all, meet in one place, and make so much money and progress, and it's human effort which makes that happen. The fire of war I see begins in the core. So the Buddhists say dissatisfaction brings arising states such as anger, sadness, we can have fear. These are all arising from the amygdala part of the brain, which deals with immediate reaction, also deals with immediate gratification and stuff like that, keeps us attached to the world, keeps us, we enjoy novel things, that's part of the amygdala too. Anyway, so dissatisfaction in the core, fear and anger, sadness, violence of mind, violence of action. So our internal world forces us into an external state of violence, and then violence begets violence, retaliation meets retaliation. They involve their friends, we involve our friends, and before you know it, the flames which started off as an ember inside of us have exploded out of us and now threaten to spread all over the world, and in the last century threaten to actually annihilate us all. The spirit of war wants to consume us all, right? It's like a virus, a deadly virus that's, threatening to kind of spread everywhere and annihilate everyone all at once. And I see war as like, as a fire. It's a bit like the fire triangle, whereby, fire triangles heat, fuel and oxygen. And it's like where the oxygen is like, rage and hatred, and the heat is material and fuel, and the air is the oxygen is human effort. I messed that up, and fuel was meant to be human effort, but anyway, you get the point, right? And we are at the mercy of these things. So what you choose and what's created in the world, it begins at our very core. So we can't fight the spirit of negativity, right? It's an ironic situation. We can't destroy it that way, right? We have to accept it and accommodate it and love it, right? Like the childish thing that it is. Negativity, you can't punch it in its face for it to go away. You can't get angry with it because it wants you to play the It wants you to play the game by its rules, right? It's going to drag you down. Never fight with a pig, because all that will happen is you get dirty, you won't get anywhere, you won't win, and you'll just look like an idiot. So you can't sort of lower yourself, right? You have to be having a higher moral set of actions and thoughts and principles. You can't have revenge. You have to let go of revenge, and you have to hold forgiveness, right? Forgiveness, it's not for them, it's for you and the rest of the world, right? Every second that you hang on to anger and the idea of retaliation is a second that you're not spending making the world a better place and making this garden a better place, right? And wherever you go and whoever you meet, making them better, making it better, right? Making it all better. It's not about dragging everyone down with us. It's not about destroying what we can't hold in our hand and grasp, And spirit of positivity, right? It's comfortable, it's relaxed, it's okay, it's easy with itself, it's understanding, right? Love is a challenge. It doesn't expect love to fit into what makes it happy, what makes it feel content. No, love can disturb us, right? Love can be weird. Love can be all flipping weird, right? Life will challenge us, right? Spirit of positivity is giving. Cave people, Neanderthal people, looked after their disabled, right? They do better than a lot of people in the modern era with compassion. So give compassion, be positive. Don't try and, destroy the world. Don't try and, change the world too much. Just let the world be, right? Let the world come to its own conclusions. Too much force is not a good thing. Peace. Wishing you all the best.